welcome back, traders. Got another back testing session for you guys. We're going to be going through August now. It's going to be the second full week from August 12th to the 16th. Before we get started, I want to pull up the spreadsheet. I forgot to do this last time. So I compiled the data for July. These are all the trades from July. 20 total trades. And you can see the winning percentage is 50%, so 50-50, but the average gains is a lot more than the average losses. It's about 2 to 1 on the averages here. So that's why in July we had a net P&L of 7%, which is really nice, going from 11,800 to 12,480. All right, so with that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the data again. We are in August, 2 trades so far, and just taking a look at the higher time frame on the daily chart, we've had this decline back down into this fair value gap, create the relative equal lows here and here. So on the higher time frame, as I zoom out, you see we could be coming down below these relative equal lows, going back into this daily void that had no trading whatsoever. That's kind of like what I'm looking for. So I'll be looking to target this higher time frame sell side liquidity, but we've had this bounce into this daily SIBI, and I want to really keep my eye on this daily SIBI. I want to see price remain in the lower half and then start dropping for this higher time frame sell side liquidity. Should we go above this daily SIBI and then we come back, let's say, into the upper half, and then I see some bouncing, it looks like then these relative equal lows may be safe for a later day, and we may be heading for this high for the buy side liquidity. If that happens, we may even go into this daily BISI. So just going to keep an eye on this daily BISI. I think that's going to be very, very important as we go into this week. All right, so this is Monday, August 12th, 8:15 in the morning, and I have the short-term sell side down here on the hourly chart. See, I'm not really seeing too much here on the upside. We do have some inefficiencies here. We'll mark that out if we start going above this daily SIBI, but currently I don't really see any necessarily, I don't see it necessary to mark out right now. Like I said, keeping an eye on this daily fair value gap here. As long as we're staying in the lower half and we start displacing lower, then I'll be looking for price to go for the higher time frame sell side liquidity. Of course, this will be the first target. You see, we're kind of grinding up. Every little buy side has been taken, but it's just by a little bit. There's no like dramatic displacement to the upside. So I'm thinking we're just sweeping the buy side liquidity so we can go lower. Now looking on the 15-minute, the last sweep was right here. So it's already taken, and we could start having displacement at 8:30 or maybe even 9 o'clock. I'm just going to keep an eye out on that. And even in the shorter term, we can aim for the sell side below this low, or even this one right here, but I think that's a little too close. But anyway, it's going to go down to the 5-minute time frame and start walking through today. All right, so a little bit after 8:30, we have another sweep right here, a shallow sweep, and we may be creating a fair value gap here. I wanted to go ahead and take this out, and then we'll see if we start getting displacement or not. I don't really want to take the very first fair value gap. It's just a shallow run. We can definitely go above here again, maybe at 9:30. So, but if we do have a fair value gap and we have confirmation, maybe I'll go ahead and try and take a chance on that one, aiming for this low as my first partial. So zooming in, we technically do have 1, 2 fair value gaps. So I could take a shot if I, let's say, have my entry here on this lower fair value gap and I put my stop above this order block. That's going to give me about, actually it's not that big of a risk, like maybe 22 points. So we'll go ahead and take a shot here, pre-market, which, you know, I don't typically like to do, but yeah, we'll go ahead and take a chance here. I do like seeing 2 fair value gaps after a sweep of liquidity. My only concern is a shallow sweep, so we can go back above there as well. And it is pre-market. We could have a lot of volatility, like 9 o'clock or 9:30. I mean, we could have another spike up above this buy side. So sell side target, I may be conservative, aiming for this low, and that will give me a little bit better than 101. We could aim for this low. I would like to see that, but With this shallow run, I don't know if we're going to go all the way down here. So I think I may just do like 0.5% risk on this, just because, you know, all the variables, we may get some volatility to go above this high and stop us out. So, but I'm going to take a shot here, see if we can get tapped in and go from here. So looking at the spreadsheet, 2 contracts will be too much. That will give us a 0.7% risk. I only want to do half a 0.5% risk or less. So we'll just go with 1 contract just to get a feeler in here. And if we do get stopped out, I'll wait for 9:30, see if we can take a second shot after 9:30, maybe around 10 o'clock or something. Okay, so I got tapped in the next few minutes, and hopefully we start seeing something before 9:30. Okay, I do like seeing this little drop here. Not enough for me to move my stop, but yeah, gonna see if we get a maybe 9:30. We're gonna get a wick to the downside. Okay, I don't really like seeing this creating relative equal lows. I'm thinking we may come up above this high and then drop down for the sell side. So we'll just see what happens at 9:30. And here we go. Kind of wicking down lower. Okay, this is a little volatile here, right? You can see initially we went down below this sell side and this sell. We actually didn't, let's do it, actually did not go below the sell side, you see. So that's a little concerning that we created relative equal lows and then we've rallied up above this down candle and now we're down here. So I think maybe I went in a little too early, but I only have 1 contract. I'm willing to just still give this a chance, but fair warning, I think we may be coming up for this swing high, so probably get stopped out. Okay, completely wrong. We are going lower, and I want to take my profit down here, right? Technically, I should be holding it because looking for this swing low, but if you draw this wick here on the 1 hour, 50% of this wick is kind of getting close, but I believe I mentioned earlier that I want to see price come down to this swing low, right? I think this was my profit target. Oh, no, it was this one, giving me a little bit better than 101. So we'll just go ahead and use this one as the profit target, even though like this was actually pretty reasonable. So here on the spreadsheet, using the higher targets as the take profit, we got a little bit better than 1.5 to 1, 1.78, which is really nice. Only 1 contract because, you know, pre-market and this shallow run here, I thought maybe we had a chance of going back up above it one more time. So just took 1 contract as a feeler. It did work out. If I had 2 contracts, first partial here, second partial here, and if I had more, I would wait to see if we can go ahead and hit our sell side target there. So walking ahead, this little poke above here is in the lower half of 50% of this fair value gap. So I think this is good enough for us to make a run for the sell side. By not taking it, I already had a good win in the morning. And if I were to take this, the risk would still be like up here. So that would not be a good reward to risk ratio. So not going to be taking this. Now, if it goes higher into maybe, let's say this fair value gap, maybe I'll consider taking it again, although I don't really like how we've already taken the sell side down here. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. This is my previous target. But we took out the sell side down here. So we may be creating relative equal lows and go for the buy side. So just a little concerned about that. That's why I'm not really wanting to take another trade here. I already got 1 win. Maybe that's good enough for today. I mean, it is a Monday after all. So just going to wait, but I think we're going to take the sell side down here. All right, guys, so completely wrong. It created relative equal lows, right? And now it's going to go for the buy side here. So let me go ahead and clean this chart up a little bit. Now, zooming out to the 1 hour, I'm thinking what would be the higher time, what would be the target to the upside? Looking at the 1 hour, I'm not really seeing any inefficiencies here, except for right here. If you zoom in, there's a small fair value gap on the 1 hour. I say small, but it is actually like maybe 70 points of range on this fair value gap at the high of this daily SIBI. So I'm thinking that is where price is wanting to go. So pretty much at the high of the daily SIBI. Now going back down to a lower time frame, we have the buy side up here. Now, if we get a little bit of retracement, I believe taking a long is a good idea for this buy side, and we'll aim for this over here. But this is a little bit too much of a risk. So what I want to see is a retracement back down to here and create a confirmation fair value gap. I don't need confirmation to have confidence in the long because we had this big drop down and now we have this big rally up. So we are changing the state of delivery. It's telling me that this was the first one that was a fake out, and now the real move is going to be to the upside. The thing is, I want to have a good risk to reward. So that's why I want price to come down here and create a second fair value gap, because I can use that second fair value gap for a good risk to reward. All right, so we just rallied up and then start getting a little bit of choppiness, but you can see right here, if I zoom in, we have a small, is this a small fair value? Let me see, the high here was at 18,733 and the low here is at 18,733. So this is actually not a fair value gap. It could be an immediate rebalance. So anyways, I was going to say if this was a fair value gap, I wouldn't be interested in taking it all the way up here. I still want to see some retracement and see a fair value gap somewhere here in the range. I mean, we do have consolidation here, so maybe this fair value gap will be the likely candidate. But yeah, just going to keep waiting. I wanted to see some retracement. If we just keep going for the buy side, then I'm pretty much done for the day. Already had a good trade pre-market, and well, I guess, yeah, we'll just be done for the day, but I want to see retracements. All right, there was some news going on this today or something. August 12th, 2024. Don't remember anything in particular, but yeah, big drop down. I'm not interested in longs anymore. I'm thinking now we may be going for the sell side here. So this was probably to clear out the sell side liquidity, create relative equal lows. This was to take out the buy side, and now I guess I'm going to go back to the higher time frame bias and look for shorts, because I think we may be coming down for this low now. So just going to go ahead and wait for, I mean, this is a big risk, right? I'm definitely not going to be taking here. I want to see price come back up here and create a confirmation fair value gap. I don't want to see this taken out before I can see a confirmation fair value gap to get in. All right, it is 12:15, so my window is closed. I'm done for the morning. The morning action, you can see, is not really doing much. It did clear out the short-term sell side and the short-term buy side, but pretty much closed around equilibrium, kind of like where we're starting at. We started off here, and then we closed here, right? So pretty much open in the middle, close in the middle. I think it's setting up for a big run in the PM session, so let's go ahead and check that out. But I'm pretty much done for today. Had a small win, 1.7 R, and the rest of the day pretty much did nothing. You can see after sweeping out the short-term sell side and buy side, we pretty much just went sideways and closed around the middle at the end of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next day, August 13th, and see what happens pre-market. All right, so here we go, Tuesday morning, and we've cleared out the sell side there, and we went up, cleared out the buy side as well overnight, and tapped into that 1 hour fair value gap on the 1 hour time frame, right? This was the target I was looking for on the upside. Now, if we go above here, see, now we're kind of like trading into the upper half of that daily fair value gap. Let me go ahead and get rid of this 1 hour because I think it's a little confusing, but you can see that we're kind of trading, like, if here's halfway, we went down to about 50%, and now we're kind of looking like we may stay in the upper half of this fair value gap. If that's the case, then I may be looking at this daily fair value gap as inversion. We'll see if we start leaving it to the upside and then coming back down and it's showing support, then I guess we'll have to change bias and go bullish. But I still kind of want to lead bearish. I want to see price drop from here. Don't want to see price go above, although we do have this buy side target here. Just going to go ahead and put that out. We obviously, the sell side is down here, relative equal lows on the 1 hour. Going down to the 15-minute, you probably see it much better, or not. I mean, just these two candles down here. And we do actually have a short term here that already got taken. Well, so just keep that in the back of your mind. We already took a little bit of buy side, And now we're going to go and see what 830 has in stored. And if we do go to the downside, I'm looking for a price to come and take these relative equal lows. This is going to be my primary target. All right, so a big rally at 830. We came and took out the buy side here. Now that's perfectly fine for a short setup, but I don't really want to see price leaving this daily fair value gap to the upside. If that's the case, then I'll be less likely to want to go short, but this is perfectly fine. Now that we've taken out the buy side, I want to start seeing price go down below this swing low with displacement, hopefully a fair value gap like right here, that way we can have a balanced price range. And this big gap right here, I want to see price run through it as well, but leave this sell side down so we can have a good setup for a sell side target. Of course, relative equal lows down there. That's going to be what I aim for if we go short. All right, so we didn't get displacement to the downside. We came in and this fair value gap is being respected as support. Rallied up, took out the high one more time, and now it's getting close to 930. So one of two things is going to happen. Either we're going to drop down. If that's the case, then coming back up, I'll be looking to take a short for the sell side and those relative equal lows down below. But the other thing that can happen is we have a big rally up now that we've used this fair value gap as support. And if we start rallying up, I'm going to have to reevaluate, maybe go back onto the 1 hour and seeing what can we look for on the upper, as targets on the upside. All right, so 10 o'clock, I gave it 30 minutes after the opening bell, and we are rallying higher. If you look here, we did create a fair value gap here at 920 that was used as support. This came back down to this down candle, used as support. This right here came back down into this fair value gap. It filled it, but still only the wick, and it looks like it's using it as support as well. So, and now currently we are leaving that daily fair value gap. So far the narrative is bullish. I'm going to go into the 1 hour. That's a little too short. I need 20 days. And I'm looking back here to the left to see what can we look for right here. I mean, I do see some sort of inefficiency, but nothing really too crystal clear. I'm actually going to go up one more. See, when the time frame doesn't look clear to you, go ahead and adjust it to like a higher time frame, right? Don't be afraid to move the time frame up to try and get a clearer picture, So we do have a small fair value gap here. I'll just have it in white. But the more important fair value gap that I'm looking at is this bigger one up here on the 4 hour, right? This is kind of what I'm thinking we're going to be targeting to the upside. So as long as we don't reach it just yet and we have a setup, it's reasonable to go ahead and try and take a long, going for one of those two fair value gaps. Remember, there's a small one here and a bigger one up there. The small one could be a partial, and then the second will be for that fair value gap up there on the 4 hour. Now, where can we get in? Maybe I've already missed my opportunity here. Like this could have been a nice long here. If we go down to it one more time, I'll still give it a shot. PD rates don't just expire one time. We could take a long here at 887. Let me get rid of this one. And the stop loss down here, that will give us it's actually quite a bit of range, 60 points or so. Not sure I will want to do that. This is what I'm going to do. Take this off. I'm going to use this wick, right? It came down here once before. I'm going to use this wick, 50% of this wick. That's where I'm going to go ahead and enter. This way it will reduce my risk a little bit. And we'll see if we can even get in here. So this is going to be 54 points of risk. I'm just going to go ahead and take a shot here with one contract. Hopefully we can get tapped in and we run away from us to up here. I will definitely take off my trade in this fair value gap here. All right, so I'm in one contract. Now, even though it's just one contract, it's still a pretty big risk. Look at the spreadsheet, it's a 0.83% risk, because it is quite a big range. But what I'm hoping for is we keep going up to that 4 hour fair value gap right here, this small one. I'll take it off at the low and I'll go ahead and mark out the price here. So that is where I will be looking to take my trade off. Now, we could still be going lower, right? But we are leaving this daily fair value gap to the upside. So I'm hoping this will hold up as support. I hope we don't come back into it again. And if we go ahead and take a look at the lower time frame, you can see that here we already dropped down. And by creating relative equal lows, this is telling me that we're not wanting to go lower, right? We're not wanting to go lower, so we must be going up higher. This big move down, we've already went above it with displacement, and then we've had another displacement here. So all the signs are just showing support. So hopefully this will work out in my favor. If we create a new higher high, definitely want to move my stop to break even. So going above this high at 922, moving my stop to break even after that. All right, I love seeing this. We have displacement here. We have a new fair value gap. It did come down below this wick, so I was a little worried, but you know, my stop was here. I was perfectly fine if I got stopped out. But now, and you can see that the bodies here are respecting 50% of this wick, right? All the bodies is staying above it. Even though we wick down below it, the bodies are what tells the story. And now that we've created a fair value gap, moving my stop loss up, and I'm going to be putting it right here. I'm going to be at least break even. We went above this high, created a new high day, and with a fair value gap. So love seeing that. We can come down into this fair value gap, but I don't want to see this low get taken out. And this is going to be my target here. So everything is working out pretty well. At least break even, that's always a good feeling. All right, and I was just kind of being patient. I just had my stop here the whole time, never moved my stop because at any time right here, once we get really close to target, it could just spike down into this fair value gap one more time before going up. Didn't do that. It pretty much just grinded up slowly. You can see like it just, there's no inefficiency here, right? Just up and down, slowly going up and finally tap into my buy side target. So good trade. It is 11:45, so got done right before noon. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and record this, show you the day's action in the afternoon, and then we'll move on to, I believe, Wednesday, right? Yep, Wednesday. So that was a pretty good trade, 1.85R, which is really nice with a total percentage gain of 1.5%. So combine that with yesterday, already up 2% this week. So if we take some losses, we have a little bit of leeway. But yeah, let's go to the end of the day action, and then I'll show you what happened this day, and we'll move on to the next day. So now that we're leaving this daily fair value gap, now don't get confused, right? The white one is the 1 hour fair value gap. This red one up here is also a 1 hour fair value gap. The one down here, this red one is a daily fair value gap. And since we are leaving it, I think we should shift the bias to bullish, right? But looking at the end of the day, we did go above this 1 hour fair value gap, and then we start using the upper half of it. So this 1 hour fair value gap looks like it's being used as inversion as well, tapped into the larger 4 hour fair value gap. And now I don't want to go up to a, well, since it's the end of the day, we can go up to a daily, that's no problem, right? So it looks like you can see we are leaving this fair value gap. I'm going to go ahead and change this to orange because this could be used as inversion some more. But we're leaving it. We do have a 4 hour fair value gap here, but this buy side here, this is going to be my target now going to this week. We could have a big bounce, a reversal maybe, right? We do have this higher time frame sell side liquidity down here, but it doesn't look like we're going to be hitting it now. Maybe we'll be leaving it. Not really going to pay attention to this until we start going down below this daily fair value gap again. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next day. All right, so Wednesday morning, August 14th, tight consolidation here between the 1 hour SIBI and the 4 hour SIBI. I'm gonna go, this is my previous target. So yeah, so we're leaving the daily fair value gap and we're now consolidating in between here. So zooming in, not a lot going on, honestly. Like we have buy side up here, sell side down here, but it's a very, very tight consolidation range. We can kind of go either way. I'm leaning towards the upside. I want to go back up to the 4 hours just to see if there's anything to see, right? So upside target, not exactly sure where. 50% of this fair value gap is a reasonable place to take partial. Of course, we're going to be looking for the buy side up there. Downside wise, we do have this fair value gap. So as long as we're staying in the upper half of this daily fair value gap, I'm going to go ahead and remain slightly bullish. Okay, 8:30, some wild move here. August 14th. I don't know what's going on, but we had a big wick up for this buy side, so this buy side has been taken, and then we went down lower for the sell side, and the sell side has been taken. So I think today may be one of those days where we sit still and not do much, because this tight consolidation, we may just be broadening this consolidation. I'm not exactly sure where the direction is, so I'm just going to wait until I start seeing some clear displacement. Probably have to wait until after 9:30 to see if there's any setup or what direction the market actually wants to go to. All right, so just before 9:30 here, 9:26. After this big wick, you can kind of ignore it, but here the next couple of candles, big up candles towards the upside, didn't take out this high, and now we're kind of consolidating here in the upper half of this big wicking, candle, right, at 8:30. Also, there is a small fair value gap here. It's looking like it's holding up a support. No body's really in it, although we wicked through it several times. So at 9:30, I'm looking for an explosive move to the upside. I don't have a setup to actually take anything, so I'm going to have to wait till 9:30, after 9:30 to see what happens. Probably, if I'm going to get into a trade, it'll have to be after 10 o'clock. Okay, like I said, today may not be a good day to trade because as you can see, 9:30, we wicked up above the buy side, and now we're dropping down, maybe going for 50% of this wick here. It's just unclear, not easy to tell where the market wants to go. So in this kind of situation, I'm going to give it a little bit more time and probably, be satisfied with not taking a trade today. All these long wicks, potentially creating a fair value gap here, but where would I have my stop loss? All the way up here at 104. That's going to be like 60 points of range for the risk. And then downside target, maybe we're going back into that daily fair value gap, but it could just wick down here and then start going up. Like it could be a seek and destroy day where we just take the buy side and the sell side as indicated by the 8:30 candle. Like we came for the buy side, maybe we're going to go for the sell side and then come for the buy side one more time. So those kind of conditions you don't really want to be trading in. You're going to get chopped up. Already had a good win on Monday and Tuesday, so you got to be satisfied sometimes and just not take a trade. All right, so 10:15, we went down for the sell side, and it's looking more and more likely it could be a seek and destroy if we start trading above this down candle, right? It's not very clear still, so don't really want to be taking a trade. It could be coming down for the daily fair value gap. Maybe I'll use an inversion. Maybe we'll trade down through it and then we could go bearish again. But with this pattern, like I said before, it's just like looking like seek and destroy, where we're taking the sell side, taking the buy side, taking the buy side, taking the sell side. It's going to give it a little bit more time. I'm thinking, let's just skip today. Let's not do a trade. We'll have more opportunities on Thursday and Friday. All right, so we swept the low one more time. At first, it looked like this fair value gap was being respected, but then shortly after, we are displacing up higher, trading above this down move. So now looks like we may be going for the buy side again, right? So more and more likely, this looks like seek and destroy conditions. All right, and there you have it, folks. 12:15. My time window is done, but I wasn't planning on trading anyways. A little bit light here, and you can see the buy side was taken, and now we're kind of coming back in the range. What's going to happen in the PM session? Maybe nothing. Maybe we just consolidate within the range here. So let's just take a look, and I'm cleaning up the chart and take a look at the end of the day, and then probably move on to Thursday. Don't really see much. Yeah, what did I say, guys? Probably just consolidate here in the middle of the range. That's pretty much exactly what happened throughout lunch, at the beginning of the PM session. Only at the end of the day did we get a small rally, and then we consolidated here within that 4-hour fair value gap. So nothing much to do here. I'm just going to go ahead and go to the next day, and we'll see what happens pre-market. All right, so Thursday morning, August 15th. Still nothing going on really. It's still kind of tight consolidation here. I'm not even really interested in marking out the buy side and the sell side. Gonna go jump down into the 15-minute and we'll mark out the buy side here. I suppose there was some consolidation up here. And then the sell side, we have relative equal lows. So this is going to be a nice target here. Remember, this gray is going to be the 1 hour fair value gap. I'm looking at inversion fair value gap actually. So let's go ahead and change the color to orange. And the buy side, maybe 50%. I think 50%, the upper part of this 4 hour fair value gap. Of course, the buy side target is all the way up there. But just like yesterday, want to be patient and not really do a whole lot just yet. Want to wait until one of these buy side or sell side liquidity targets get swept, and then I'll reconsider my position. Again, some big news happening today. August. What's going on in August? I don't know. Don't remember. But anyways, we do have a big rally to the upside. I kind of feel like these relative equal lows are not going to be in play anymore. Let's just go ahead and take a Fibonacci real quick and do the bottom and the top of this 4 hour fair value gap. This is 50%. We are quickly approaching it. I think 9:30, maybe we get some retracement here, and then after 9:30, if we start seeing some displacement, we could go ahead and try for another long, aiming for the high of this 4 hour fair value gap, or maybe I don't know. The buy side target is so far away, we may not reach there, but we could. But yeah, this wick down into this inefficiency, and then a big move up. Gonna have to wait till 9:30. I mean, there's no way you're gonna be able to take a trade here unless we have a setup form within this gap. All right, now that we've tapped into 50%, I'm looking for price to come and retrace back down. All right, so before 9:30 here, we did go up above 50% here. It looks like we may stay in the 50 upper half of it, but 9:30, I expect a big jump down real quick. I don't expect this gap to be completely filled in. If it does, then that's a big strong sign that we're going to go down lower, but I don't think that's likely. I think we're going to have a big move down, but only to go back into this inefficiency at 8:30. Then after that, I want to see a setup to the upside. This could be my first partial if it remains intact. And yeah, let's just see what happens at 9:30. Okay, so we took out the buy side one more time, and now it looks like it's setting up for a drop down. All right, so far we're not getting that. We're getting close to 10 o'clock. It's creating another fair value gap here. This could be a good place to try and take a shot, aiming for the high of this fair value gap, because we may be trading through this 4 hour. If we do trade through the 4 hour, maybe there'll be a chance that we go for this buy side target here. You can see that this move from here to here consolidated a little bit, and then if we move like the same amount, so from here to here, from here to there, would be around the top of this fair value gap. And then right here, if we take a shot, let me just zoom in a little bit, because okay, so if we, let's say for example, you take a long here at the low of this fair value gap, and you have your stop loss here at the bottom of this down candle, this is about 50%, about 50% or sorry, not 50%, 50 points of risk, which I'm going to go ahead and try taking actually. I know it's already wicked down into it, but I was a little slow on this fair value gap. You know, I skipped ahead a little bit too much, but the price here is still close to the entry, so you could just mark it in right here, and you're about, you know, you're really close at the entry. So I'm going to take a shot, just one contract, and we'll see if we can get to the top of that fair value gap. And I think this one, I'll try and hold to the buy side. I'll just try and just move my stop up as we go along. All right, so we created a new higher high. Time to move my stop up. Not exactly sure where to move it to. I'm just going to move it to the bottom of this down candle. That way, I'm just moving it to break even. You could try and take off your trade right here. You're going to get about you're going to get a little bit better 1-1 here if you take your trade off here. But what I'm looking for is, okay, so I do actually see a fair value gap from this candle to this candle, there is a small fair value gap. So this will be a nice stop placement here. But I'm looking for price to draw up into the buy side. Hopefully we'll get another larger displacement and I can put my stop up, maybe down below here or whatever. But I'm going to be moving my stop loss up every time I see a fair value gap. Now I do see another fair value gap here. I guess I could move my stop up to like here. Okay. I mean, I guess let's go ahead and do it, right? No reason to be too greedy, right? So we'll move the stop loss here. This is gonna give me okay, I don't know why I'm blanking here. It's gonna give me like 30 points, about 40 points of profit here. Close to 101, a little bit less than 101. So, but hopefully this will hold up and we're gonna leave this 4-hour fair value gap. All right, so it looks like I did get tapped into, unfortunately. So went ahead and took the trade off down here. Could have tried it and just take it off at the height of this fair value gap. Maybe would not have gotten tapped into. It looked like it was 2 ticks away from that high. But unfortunately, I did get stopped out here. If I just left it at break even, I think we could have gotten a little bit more. I think it's going to go up higher. Let's just look ahead just one more time just to see. Yeah, see, it would have went higher. So this is one of those instances where I'm moving my stop loss too quickly, too tightly. I should have just left it around break even. Or if I did want to move it up, I could just move it up below this candle, right? That way we still give it a chance to come down into this fair value gap. Alas, that did not happen. So I'm going to go ahead and record this profit, but honestly, not exactly too happy because I think we could be going up higher. So here you can see not even 101, a little bit less than 101, but it is what it is. Now, I said I wasn't too happy about this. I mean, I'm talking about me moving my stop loss up too quickly. I tend to do that, so I know that's something I need to work on. But a win is a win, so it's still good. The important thing here is to not revenge trade. Just because you missed out and you think, oh, my idea is going to work out. I mean, we could have a sweep below this low, right? So if you move your stop loss here, it's at risk of getting taken. So don't try to push too hard. I'm just going to see what happens the rest of the morning. I'm not even going to walk it through anymore because I don't really want to be taking any more longs. This is good enough here at the high of the 4-hour fair value gap. We don't necessarily have to take that buy side. So I'm just going to go straight to the end of the day, not even tempt myself. So this is basically me closing the charts out and not doing anything. So we did go higher, and then you can see we were consolidating above the 4-hour fair value gap. We never really got close to the buy side target. Maybe that's something we can aim for going into tomorrow, but I can see that, once we get above here, like I said, the high of this 4-hour fair value gap is a nice target. I just moved my stop loss up too quickly. All right, so here is August 16th. This is the Friday morning, and on the 1-hour chart, zooming in a little bit, not seeing any inefficiencies until we get to here. So let me go ahead and draw that in. I don't really want to see price go into here, but it's okay because we could be using this 4-hour fair value gap as an inversion fair value gap. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this one as orange, even though it's a sippy. Could be coming down here. Don't really want to see it. I think I'm going to go down to a 15-minute, see if we can get a clearer view. We did go down below this low here, so I will mark it out just to know that we do have a sweep of minor sell side. And if we start seeing displacement to the upside, the buy side target is in sight. All right, so just before 9:30, we did drop back down into that 4-hour fair value gap. I'm not interested in taking a short. We could reach that 1-hour fair value gap. Remember, I'm looking for it to be used as an inversion fair value gap. Don't really want to see it close below. I want to see it tapped into, and then we start leaving. So if this is a swing high, tap into this, go above the swing high. That will give me a chance to go long, aiming for the buy side target. Okay, so it is 10 o'clock. You can see that the opening range didn't do much. It pretty much just chopped around, right? So I was thinking in my head, man, today is a Friday. It was probably one of those days where it is very, very choppy. So may not be good trading conditions. Now, it didn't go into the 1 hour fair value gap. That's fine. It went into the 4-hour SIBI using it as inversion. If you look to the left, we do have this fair value gap here. This is also kind of being used as inversion, creating a fair value gap here. So this could be a place where you take a chance on it. You have your risk down here. Maybe you put your entry here. This will give you about 28 points of risk. So if this remains intact, I will take a chance on it. Even though it's only 28 points, I'm still just going to go with one contract. I'm not really confident in this setup. I would like to see it come back down and then give me a confirmation fair value gap, because we could be going lower for this 1 hour SIBI. Also, it's a Friday. Also, I see a lot of choppiness during the opening range, so just gonna be a little bit more conservative today. One contract. Let's just take a shot. All right, so a little bit before 11 o'clock, even though we created a small fair value gap here, I was waiting for price to come back here, take a shot. Now I have my risk at the low of this order block, because of this choppiness, maybe I should have been a little bit more lenient. I should have put my stop at the low of this fair value gap, but alas, I didn't. But yeah, went ahead and got stopped out for one contract here. Just gonna wait. I kind of don't really feel like doing anything today because of this choppiness. Make me feel like the price action is not going to be that good. Just going to wait. It looks like we may be heading down for this 1 hour fair value gap. If it does tap into that and then we start getting displacement to the upside, I'll look for a confirmation fair value gap. I also see relative equal highs here, so that could also be a first partial target. But anyways, just going to wait and not really do anything right now. All right, so here's the spreadsheet just to show you guys. I took that loss and at 497, right? That's where I had the stop loss here at the low of that order block with its wick. Now I moved the stop loss down here. I'm not taking a trade, but I just want to leave this here to see whether or not this would have worked out if I was a little bit more conservative, just to see for myself. All right, and as you can see, we did go down below this low one more time, but if I had my stop here, maybe it would have worked out because we are creating another fair value gap here. I'm going to go ahead and move this because I'll take one more shot before we end today. I will take a chance on this fair value gap. I think the risk is actually pretty small. Let's just go ahead and measure it with my stop below here. Since we had this sweep right here, I don't think this low is in any danger of getting swept. If it is, then the long side target is not correct here. Relative equal highs up here, but I'm gonna go with this target. Could be a first partial. That's gonna give me better than 101 if I do get wicked in. Looking for the buy side here, but I only got like 30 minutes left, so I don't want to be too greedy on a Friday. We may not go back up there. It may just kind of like consolidate close to the high of this 4 hour fair value gap. It could even just like, take out this high and then come down to the 1 hour fair value gap. So definitely don't want to be too greedy here. 101 is fine. Another thing you could do is get to break even and then just leave it for the rest of the day. But Friday, kind of feel like it's going to take out this high and then just consolidate here within the range. So this is going to be my buy side target if I get in on this fair value gap. The risk is going to be from 53 to 24, so about 30 points of risk. A little bit more than I want, but I think it should be okay. Okay, so I got to start getting used to these numbers because around 30 points of risk, I'm only at 0.43% risk, so that's good. It's within the 0.5% limit. So yeah, let's see if I get entered here, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Only about 30 more minutes. If we don't really get taken within, I don't know, 20 minutes, then I will just go ahead and take it off and we'll call it a day. Call it a week. Okay, so the very next couple of candles, we actually did get wicked in. If we go, well, man, the target's so close, but let's just say if it goes above these highs right here, I'm going to definitely move it to break even to the bottom of this down candle here. If I zoom in, this down candle here, I'll move it to at least break even if we go above these relative equal highs. Okay, and 12:15, I'm done. My time window is closed. We did end up making our buy side target here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just record that on the spreadsheet. That was really nice. Made up for the earlier loss. Okay, and yeah, nice. Made up for the earlier loss, and it was actually green on the day just by a little bit. So let's go ahead and see what the end of the day action looks like. Are we going to go for the buy side? If we don't take it out, that could be a target for next week. Yeah. Like I said, after taking out this buy side target, we're probably just going to consolidate. We actually went up and took out this buy side target here, and then we started consolidating. So it was good for me to not try to be too greedy on a Friday looking for this high buy side. Thursday already did most of the work, and yeah, just took it off up here, got a little bit better than 101, and that is it for this backtesting session. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me once again. Had a really great week. I think last week was also pretty good, and the previous week was good as well. So a lot of good stuff recently. Where we at? We're about halfway through August, really making our way through the year. August is the 8th, so at the end of this month, I'll be 2/3 of the way through 2024. I'm really happy that I'm making a lot of progress, and I'm eager to finish out this 2024 year and show you guys what my results are. But anyways, thank you once again. Please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't done so. And until I see you next time, safe trading.